Is it?
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 4. This is the podcast, Far From Okay. I am Cody, and we have
Bobby
with you right now. And this is post-election, first show we're doing. We just want to talk about some things. I hope everybody's doing all right out there. It is Saturday, November 9th, and man, I am starting to feel unburdened by what has been.
Lots of hate.
Yeah, if you're looking at the social media these days, you'll find there's plenty of shit to laugh at. There's no doubt about it.
They're all losing their minds right now.
Everybody's about to pack up their cats, take their little rascals' haircut and their bull rings, and get out of Dodge.
Send them all to California.
That's it, man. We can trim it down the edge. It'll be fine. Nothing against California, the state. I'm sure there's great people there too, but even Dana Perino was saying on Fox News the other day, she said, I came from Colorado, and when I was a kid, it was a red state. But due to liberal policies and the progressives and the Democrats moving out of their own cities that they ruined, she's like, no, it's primarily blue. Kind of like what they were doing to Florida, moving down there. Yeah, man. And looks like Trump's going to meet with Biden at the White House today, too, man. So,
Wednesday.
He's such a dictator, and he's so Hitlery or whatever. And it looks like we're going to have a peaceful transition of power. Nobody's in jail yet. Nobody's burned anything down. The world hasn't come to an end. Nobody's hit a button. Yeah. So, welcome to the show, everybody. It feels pretty good out there right now. We're trying to get everything back on track and trying to see things in a positive light.
Seems like a lot of these other countries are congratulating Trump and wanting to just work with the U.S. now, huh?
It's amazing, right? It hasn't even been a week and the stock market already responded.
Let me check my stocks.
Yeah, check your stocks. Price of gas is going down.
We'll see about that at the diesel pump here soon.
Yeah, and the economy itself just seems to be responding positively to everything. So, obviously, all the hoopla and all the talk about him being a dictator and all that bullshit that people were trying to bring up seems to have just kind of withered away. But there's no shortage on TikTok of people... I just can't even. This is so bad. How am I going to live my life for the next 4 years?
Probably better than you were the last 4 years.
Yeah, and if you let anybody, one person, have that much control over your psyche, then you need help to begin with.
You're right. My stocks are up. Minimal as it may be.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. Everything's responding positively. And I think it's kind of crazy, man. After all of the threats and all of the he's going to put people in jail and he's going to be a dictator and women don't have rights anymore. Like, is any of it really true? Has any of it really come to fruition?
Well, I tell you what, for the side that's, all about the Roe v. versus Wade situation that happened during Trump, they didn't do anything to try to overturn it or give these women's rights back to them, did they?
No, it didn't seem like they really cared when it wasn't a voting prop. It was all about pandering to me. I don't understand how people that say they support women's rights based on abortion laws are the same people that want to let men knock a woman out in the Olympics.
I bet all those female women boxers are not of the same opinion.
Well, the same thing goes for the Leah Thomas thing in Pennsylvania, up at Penn State. I mean, the dude is basically lapping these girls in a pool.
Mm-hmm.
And, now we get a little bit of common sense back in it. It's insane to me, man. How many people out there are angry because their kids won't be able to have an abortion, they believe. And that's not even the truth of it, because there's no state that's going to let a woman carry a baby to death. It's not...
Well, for that whole organization to kind of be worried about abortions when they're letting all these children mutilate themselves and pretty much sterilizing themselves with these anti-hormone drugs. And why are you worried about abortion when your children aren't even going to be able to have kids?
Yeah, it's sad to say that one of the major heads of that whole movement was a tranny from Pennsylvania, and
Yeah, was that Rachel Levine?
Yeah,
she's a great person.
Ron.
Glad she's gonna not be part of that cabinet anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see these people just finally put back down where they belong.
Not down, but back to reality for sure.
Yeah, I think what I meant there was like taking down a peg, maybe, right? I mean,
well, from their high horse, definitely that they're
the
on.
self-righteousness, and let's be clear. I mean, the vote was popular and electoral that he won, and then on top of that, the Senate and the House both went red. So if you say it what you will, I've seen who was that, Joy Reid on MSNBC, that America has no problem with racism and blah blah blah. You know, that's not it, man. It's insane that those are the people that keep this whole thing going like that. But the reality is people were just sick of it all in general, and they know what they got with Trump, and they know how fast things changed under Biden, and I just don't think that I don't think America wanted it. It was a pretty good numbers that he won
like
by.
We were driving out of control there for a while as a country. The rest of the world's going nuts because America is just clearly not in any kind of power with Biden, right?
Right. I mean, he doesn't even show up. He's at the beach sleeping, I guess. But yeah, when you let the mental patients run the hospital, I mean, it goes downhill fast. I think our liberal mindset was that if we get rid of rules and all the stupid stuff that people get in trouble for, then you have like a Woodstock or something like that. You're living in a commune with hippies.
It's a small taste of defund the police for you right there.
Yeah, though it turns into Escape from New York way faster than it becomes some type of Woodstock scenario, man.
There's
like
Kurt Russell when you need him.
I'm telling you, dude. No, it's just insane. It was like almost instantaneous. People were like, "Uh-oh, this ain't good." I mean, the idea that it's gotten to the point now where I'm sitting at a green light and there's still cars coming through the red light because nobody's even pulling cars over anymore.
Look at Tim Walz's wife was quoted saying that she liked when the city was burning down. She loved the smell. She opened the windows.
Insane lack of
leadership. She loved the tires burning smell. The city burning down, she was in support of. And Kamala, she was on that same level, right? Because she was saying we're not going to stop them.
She was actively getting people released from prison. She was a part of funding that got people released from prison.
GoFundMe's or something, right? For
right. And as a side note, unpopular opinion, January 6th should never have happened. And you know, I don't know that it happened the way that it's portrayed in the first place. So let's not get that twisted. But
hard to say. The
people that were mad about the George Floyd thing, burnt down cities, blocked cities off from police, and destroyed half the country in protest, they should have gotten their asses together and marched down to the Capitol building and had a word with their politicians for letting stuff like this happen. That's where the problem lied in the first place. The people from the quote-unquote January 6th insurrection needed to first off define what an insurrection is, because they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. But,
well, the police and stuff, they were just letting them in the building. There was,
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know
that there was as much actual physical violence to other people that they're portraying either.
Well, there's one video of the Capitol officer basically saying that they called an emergency a few blocks away, so they were undermanned anyways. Like there was just something that popped up. He said they screwed us. They totally did this to us.
I'm sure some people got hurt because, you know, that's just how it goes.
But the idea that it was okay to burn down half the country and set cities on fire and cause all this chaos. Do you remember the video of that woman walking up to those people that were like down on Penn Avenue and just picking up their drink off the table and drinking it on the news? Like because we're here and you owe us something. No, I don't think so, man. And when you guys champion that, dude, and you let them go burn down the cities.
They were looking for an altercation at that
point. Well,
point.
Those same politicians that got checked on the 6th are the ones that let them do that. They should have taken their problem straight to Pelosi themselves. People
always triggered sure do seem to be the ones that are antagonizing the situations, huh?
Stomping the shit out of their feet, man.
They'll scream right in your face, literally.
Yeah, and then that's the crazy part, dude. It's like passive aggressiveness to the fullest degree, that as long as they don't physically touch you, and then as soon as you do something to them, It's over there. I'm gonna sue you. I'm doing all this blah blah blah. Look, man, you wanna cut your hair at home with scissors and protest the Trump being in office and all this stuff, and you wanna use a burlap tampon, you go right the fuck ahead. But the fact of the matter is, nobody's gonna make way for you anymore. You're not special. If you're not gonna work and be a part of this economy, if you're not gonna work and be a part of this economy and the whole situation, because all the other things can be put aside if you're gonna contribute. But as soon as you start demanding that you're more important, or yours is more important of an ideology than anybody else's, I don't care.
Well,
I'll let you be right for so long.
Equality right out of the equation in a sense, right?
Right. And that's essentially what happened. They disguised it as equality, but they were chasing supremacy. And then they thought they were going to be able to keep it. Like, when the entire country is doomed financially, we're spread so thin as far as military, and
we're
then
giving it away. That's the problem.
Right, and then we're taking away policies that would protect normal Americans to spite them for the Americans that don't even like this country.
Like 60-some billion we've given Ukraine, and funding that we should be, kind of using on our own borders and whatnot right now.
There's a possibility, man, that they're
But
chasing the
these
trillions.
people are still
now.
screaming "Free Ukraine," and they're losing their mind over Trump. It just doesn't make. They don't see the logic in reality, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the Israeli soccer team. Did you see that on the news this morning?
Yeah, the attack in Israel.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of them in the middle of the street. They were running through. I don't know where they were at, but they were running through alleys and stuff like that.
Brief moment of it, but yeah,
it's insane, man. It's never been, ever since I was a child, and I think ever since World War I, the Hitler
public
thing.
Violence is so acceptable anymore.
But the anti-Semitism thing, dude, it's like unacceptable. You don't even speak that shit because of what's happened in the past, and here we have it live and direct.
Oh,
it's much more tangible and real than the racism that they claim we have over here in America. The anti-Semitism movement around the world is insane right now.
It's raging right now.
People are being beat, they're being hurt, their stuff's being vandalized. There was a ballot box burned out before the election, and it had Free Palestine
like
thing
Hamas and whoever that was over there in Gaza. Like they're hiding behind the public. You know what I mean? And these people are they're the Harris supporters. They're like
how can you kill innocent people? Yeah, how can you be
pro-terrorist group
people that live among people and use them as shields in a war?
These people are living in a life of
insane,
just chaos nonstop.
It's insane, and this all starts. I mean, obviously they've been at war for how long, but this all starts. This next round right here all starts when Biden does the prisoner exchange and releases $6 billion of Iranian money.
I'm sure it's
and
been
then the next day, dude, they started throwing grenades over the wall. Like, here, man, we're back.
It's just one of those kind of conspiracy ideas where it's like they create the chaos so they can save you from it, right?
Well, not even a week later, after Donald Trump was elected into office, Hamas is calling for a cease to the war, and I just read this morning that the Taliban would like to talk about how we can strengthen relations so that we don't have any issues.
Look at it.
So I think people are on check. I mean, I think the world knows it's about to be. The thing that's crazy to me, good guy, bad guy, indifferent. I don't believe in war that you have good and bad. I think you have protection and you have victims, right? But the reality is,
well, the idea is to
you have to show strength.
Yeah, strength to the, you know what I mean, not to be just. I mean, look what happened when Biden took office. Like, Russia was like, "Yep, we're going in." And then you got this whole issue with Iran and Israel, which was, like you just said, financially funded by Biden, releasing all these funds and prisoner exchange or whatever.
Yeah, when they got in office, they took Hamas off of the.
They just looked
was
at
it
him
Hamas?
as weak.
I think they took Houthis. They took the Houthis off of the terror watch list. So there you go. You changed out the diplomacy on how you can deal with them, so that you prevented yourself from being able to treat them as a terrorist entity. Like, so it's just insane how all this stuff falls into place, right? Like, you have to sit back and really watch and realize, like, each of these pieces go together. When Obama was in office, Russia went after Crimea. So there's been an understanding that Democratic leadership is weak on foreign policy, right? I mean, and
within the past, couple decades, yeah.
It's been it's been like an ongoing issue that has been allowed to go. And then Trump gets in office. He takes out Soleimani. Nobody even knew that was happening. Do you remember that? I mean, you just woke up
but
that
they just
morning
were
and they were
talking
like,
about, what, an assassination plan because of that guy, isn't
Yeah,
it? Iran. Who is that?
Iran.
Iraq?
Iran.
One of them. Iran to it.
Yeah, Iran to it. Iran to it. I don't know. But my whole idea in that is, they were threatened by that. Now, with him and Bibi Netanyahu being tight, it's only a matter of time before that whole thing gets washed. What people don't understand is where we stand in this whole thing. And that's what I was getting at a second ago. Is like right, wrong, or indifferent. The U.S. is the buffer between the little guys in the European continent that have to worry about the bad guys on the European continent that are all landlocked. We sit over here and we got Mexico and Canada. We really don't have no problems.
Wow.
But because of the NATO agreement and everything like that, we become the buffer for the rest of the world. So whether they like us or not, they still need to step up and
yeah, I think that's
respect
just
that shit.
A lot
right?
determined on our size and the strength of our military at some point.
Well, it's all based on our
leadership.
leadership, right? Like you could see very clearly that they don't respect the leadership that's been in there.
No, not even a little bit. It doesn't seem they're not like worried about any retaliation.
I mean, if Trump was never in office, say what you want, he went over to North Korea and talked to that little motherfucker, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to be on some common ground with these.
right.
Some of these leaders that are just in this, they're just power hungry. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. I mean, they need their ego stroked a little bit, but it's for the greater good a lot of the time. When he talks, everybody says he's friends with Putin. I don't think he's friends with Putin as much as they have a respected relationship between each other.
well, they always
And
say
Putin knows better.
your friends close and your
Trump,
enemies closer, right?
Right. Yeah, there's no question, man. And that's kind of the way that I've been looking at it. I don't need the guy to be my friend.
No, but if you can deal with them, you know what I mean? Like, they supply oil, and you know what I mean? Like, they're well into...
Right. You
now
need to
that
be a
they're
part of the
like,
global
Trump's
economy.
back, we'll participate in your... we want to sell it on the U.S. dollar. Isn't that what they just said?
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna sell it on the U.S. buck, and that's kind of crazy too. I mean, it's almost like they single-handedly got him elected. They put all these cases against him, and I think everybody stepped back and we're like, what?
Wouldn't it be funny if Russia starts retreating from Ukraine?
Or if they just settle it and walk away from each other at this point. I don't know. The whole thing with Ukraine too that's crazy to me was the Burisma shit existed before, with Hunter Biden, existed before Biden got into office.
Yeah.
So there was bad money there. And then all of a sudden this whole thing pops off and Biden's just funneling taxpayer money over there. Just dumping it. I mean, I don't
It's
even...
fuel for a conspiracy theory, right?
That's... Man, they said there's no more conspiracy theorists anymore because they're all coming true.
Well, yeah. Everything they, definitely kind of looks like it's coming true.
It's wild, man. It's wild. I don't really know.
Tom Clancy type stuff.
Yeah, man. We're living in like X-Files. Any kind of post-dystopian...
It did release the Alien Files.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. That's so wild.
Tic Tacs in the sky, buddy.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, it's crazy to me, man. They're so upset, and now everybody's calling Elon Musk a billionaire and putting him in that category. Excuse me, for the liberal mindset that's out there with the Greenpeace and the clean energy and all that ideology that is hard to sustain. Elon Musk represents all of that. Not only does he represent, look at this right now, balance of power, 212 for the Republicans, 200 for the Democrats. They flipped 6 seats. Just to let you know, that's another reiteration that people were sick of this.
Well, even the people that were on that side, they're like, this can't continue,
This is absolutely horrible. We cannot walk down this path any longer. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me. These people are so upset that their lives are going to be changed based on women's rights and all this other stuff, man. And it's like...
people taking advantage of the system and the way they allowed it to just diminish itself, right?
Yeah, like, I don't think that any one person in their head, as they lay their head on their pillow at night, believes that college tuition should be fronted for by the taxpayer. I don't think anybody actually believes that's right. Now, maybe if you're receiving it, that's okay. But, like, these ideas were just so far-reaching and so far-fetched. We came out of COVID, and all we needed was money. That's all we needed. We needed to get back on our feet, have some economy, have some money.
How long
The
they
first
shut
thing they
everything
did was
down.
start throwing it. Look, Eric Swalwell. This dude farted on camera. That he just ripped ass. Kept talking and, like... Then he was banging a Chinese spy. Dude, there was
man.
that is insane. They actually kicked him out of certain certain pieces of what he was doing as a senator or as a whatever he is.
You
But
no
they
longer
did
have
that based
access
on
to
him
the
sleeping with a
classified.
spy and him saying he had no idea he was doing it. I didn't know she was a spy. They're like, all right, dude, you can't have the keys to the pool shed anymore. You just screwed this all up.
Compromise.
A little bit. And then you bust ass on TV. Like, come on, dude. The mic picked that
on
up.
live camera.
There was a child behind you. He's got pink eye now.
Dog definitely caught it.
Ah, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. I see where people are upset because they lost, but I don't see where people are upset because they're being reasonable. That's, I guess, the big deal in my mind.
I don't even know, man. You've got to have like just no touch with reality to be losing your mind like this. People calling off school because they're upset with the election.
Yeah. Well, at least this generation of
Calling
fake
off work,
mental health issues
Just like, I can't emotionally handle it.
They can't. It just can't.
What do you mean? Grow
It
up.
just can't.
If you were
Yeah.
adult enough to vote, you should be adult enough to handle the result, right?
Yep, and the result was we are here, and this will be a good start to the year, man. It looks like everything's moving in a positive, trending direction after the election, and he's not even in office yet. So if you
Mitch
ask me,
McConnell's gone.
yeah, well, he's frozen. They're trying to tap him to get him running again. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in a good spot, man, and I don't know, man. I think that was a good episode 4 coming off of this whole election thing, just kind of running it by. Checking everything out, and taking a look at things. The right people are upset finally. The working class can hold its head high again, man. It doesn't matter who you are when you close the door when you go home at the end of the day.
Be who you want to be.
Yeah.
Just
Keep it to
within
yourself.
your privacy.
Yeah, be reasonable about this shit. If you're out here contributing and you're doing your part, man, nobody can say anything to you. But if you want the world to stop to make way for you, no, I'm not with it. So, this has been the show. This has been Rick.
And Bobby.
Yeah. This has been Cody and Bobby and the Far From Okay podcast. Please follow us. I appreciate all the support, man. Check out the show on youtube.com at the Far From Okay podcast.
May your day be blessed.
May you have a blessed day. And just remember, man, somebody out there has it worse, so quit bitching.